The battlefield was silent now. Smoke drifted across broken metal and burned soil. Explosions had stopped, but the ground was still shaking as if the earth remembered the war. A human soldier lay in the dirt, half buried under ash. His name was Daniel Hale, but no one called his name anymore. His squad was gone. His radio was dead. His leg was bleeding and every breath felt heavy. Daniel tried to move, but pain burned through his body. He looked at the sky, orange with fire, dark with smoke. "Is this it?" he whispered to himself. His voice was weak, lost in the wind. Then he heard it. A sound. Not footsteps like a human. Heavier. Slower. Each step made the ground tremble. Daniel's heart froze. He knew what it was. The Thal Core. The alien giants. 8 feet tall. Strong. Enough to break stone with bare hands. Every human feared them. He tried to crawl away, but his body refused. His arms shook, his vision blurred. Still, the sound came closer. From the smoke, a shape appeared, tall, broad, eyes glowing faint blue in the dark. The alien giant stopped a few feet away, towering over the broken soldier. Its shadow covered him completely. Daniel clenched his fists. "Do it," he whispered, "finish me." But the alien did not strike. It stood still, staring at him. Its breathing was deep and heavy, like the sound of distant thunder. Daniel forced himself to look up. The giant's body was covered in scars, its armor cracked and blackened from battle. A warrior, wounded just like him. Seconds stretched into minutes. Neither moved. Finally, the giant bent down. Daniel's heart hammered. He reached for the knife at his belt, though he knew it was useless. One swing from that alien hand could crush him, but the giant did not attack. Slowly, carefully. It slid one huge arm under Daniel's back, then another under his legs. In one motion, the alien lifted him into the air like a child. Daniel gasped. What are you doing?" The alien said nothing. Its mouth never opened. Its glowing eyes looked straight ahead as it carried him across the ruined battlefield. The human soldier tried to struggle, but his strength was gone. His knife slipped from his hand. "Kill me already," he whispered, but even that sounded weak. The alien's grip was firm but not cruel. Every step was slow, deliberate. It avoided fire pits, climbed over shattered walls, and moved with strange care. As if protecting him, hours seemed to pass. Daniel's head grew heavy. His eyes closed, then opened again. The alien was still, carrying him, tireless, unstoppable. Finally, they entered a place of stone and silence. A cave hidden deep in the hills. Inside, strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls, shapes Daniel did not understand. The alien laid him down on a bed of soft moss. For the first time, Daniel saw its face clearly. Sharp ridges along the jaw, eyes like twin stars. Its chest rose and fell, but it made no sound. Daniel pressed himself against the wall, fear rising again. "Why?" His voice cracked. "Why save me?" The alien only stared at him. Minutes passed. The sound of the battlefield was gone now, replaced by dripping water and the echo of his own breathing. Daniel's body trembled from exhaustion. He tried to keep his eyes open, but the pain was too much. Darkness pulled him under. When he woke, the cave was quiet. A faint glow burned near the walls. Something moved in the shadows. The alien was still there. It sat across the cave, knees drawn up, head lowered like a watchful guardian. Its massive spear leaned against the stone, but it did not reach for it. It only watched. Daniel's throat was dry. He whispered, "You could have left me." The alien did not reply. Hours crawled by. Daniel's fear slowly changed into confusion. Why hadn't it killed him? Why hadn't it left him to die? Every human soldier knew the Thal Core hated them. Every human believed the aliens had no mercy. Yet, here he was, alive. Daniel touched his leg. The bleeding had stopped. A strange paste covered the wound, glowing faintly. Alien medicine. The giant had treated him, A chill ran through him. He stared at the massive figure in the dark. Maybe it was waiting. Maybe it was playing with him. Or maybe it was something else. That night, Daniel could not sleep. Each time his eyes closed, he felt the alien's gaze on him, unblinking, silent, watching. His thoughts spun in circles. Is it a trick? Is it pity? Or something I can't understand? The silence grew heavier. The soldier pulled the thin blanket tighter, his eyes fixed on the giant. The alien's glowing eyes never left him, and Daniel Hale, broken human soldier, realized one terrifying truth. This was only the beginning. The cave was cold. Drops of water fell from the ceiling, echoing like slow heartbeats. Daniel Hale sat against the wall, his injured leg wrapped in strange alien herbs. The faint glow of symbols on the stone made shadows move like ghosts, and across from him the alien giant. It had not moved all night. It sat with its back to the wall, arms resting on its knees, watching him. Always watching. Daniel could not bear the silence. "Why?" he whispered. "Why didn't you kill me?" The alien gave no answer. Its glowing blue eyes remained fixed, on him, calm but unreadable. Daniel shivered. He was a soldier trained to fight, to survive. But nothing in his training had prepared him for this, for being trapped in a cave with an 8-foot monster that refused to act like an enemy. A test of fear. When the sun rose outside, Daniel tried to crawl toward the entrance. His leg burned, but he pulled himself along. Every inch felt like victory, freedom. But the sound came again. Heavy steps, slow and steady. Daniel froze. The alien giant stood and blocked the exit, no weapon in hand, yet its presence was enough. "Let me go," Daniel said, voice shaking. "If you're not going to kill me, then let me leave." Still no reply. The giant only stared, then raised one hand. Slowly, it pointed back inside the cave. Daniel's jaw tightened. "You're keeping me prisoner." The alien gave no sign of agreement or denial, but when Daniel refused to move, the giant stepped forward. Not fast, not violent, just one slow step. Daniel's heart pounded. The silent message was clear: stay inside. Shaking with anger and fear, Daniel crawled back. The giant returned to its place, lowering itself again like a watchful guardian. The first attack that night, Daniel woke to a new sound. Not dripping water, not the alien's breathing. Something else. A low growl. Shadows shifted near the entrance. Eyes glowed yellow in the dark. Creatures, thin, wolf-like, with teeth sharp as knives. They moved silently, circling. Predators of this alien world. Daniel's chest tightened. He had no gun, no knife. He pressed against the wall, helpless. Then, the alien giant moved. It rose like a tower, stepping between Daniel and the creatures. The predators hissed and lunged, but the giant struck with terrifying speed. One massive hand grabbed a beast by the throat and crushed it against the stone. Another swung its spear, splitting the air with a crack. The cave filled with roars, snarls, and the sound of breaking bones. Blood splashed the ground. Daniel could only watch, frozen. The giant fought with raw power, yet every movement seemed precise. The predators were deadly, but against the Thalkor, they were nothing. Soon, silence returned. Broken bodies lay at the entrance. The giant stood over them, chest heaving. It looked back at Daniel. For the first time, Daniel felt something new. Not fear, not hatred, safety, the strange gift. The next morning, Daniel found a piece of alien fruit beside him. Blue skin glowing faintly like the symbols on the walls. He stared at it, suspicious. The giant gestured, slow, careful. It pointed to the fruit, then to him. Daniel frowned. "You want me to eat this?" No answer. Only the silent stare. Hunger won. Daniel bit into the fruit. Sweet liquid spread across his tongue, cooling his dry throat. His body relaxed, strength returning little by little. He looked at the alien again. For the first time, he whispered softly, "Thank you." The giant said nothing, but its head tilted slightly, almost like it understood. The marks days passed. Daniel's wounds began to heal faster than they should have. Too fast. He noticed strange marks on his skin. At first faint, like bruises. Then brighter, glowing under the cave's light. Symbols, the same ones carved into the walls. Panic filled him. He scrubbed at the marks, but they remained. "What is this?" he shouted. The alien giant approached. Slowly it reached out and touched the glowing marks on Daniel's arm. The moment its hand brushed his skin, Daniel gasped. His mind filled with strange images. A sky torn apart by fire. A world broken in two. A family of giants standing on a cliff, then fading into dust. He pulled back, breathing hard. What did you do to me?" The alien's eyes glowed brighter. Its chest rose and fell, heavy with silence. Daniel's skin burned where the marks spread. He felt something inside him change, like a door opening, something entering his mind. Fear wrapped around his heart. He pressed against the wall, shaking, his head. No, you're inside me, aren't you?" Still, the alien gave no answer. But Daniel knew. Whatever this was, it was not mercy. Not kindness. It was a bond. And once it began, there was no escape. Daniel Hale sat in the cave, staring at the glowing marks on his arm. They were brighter now, crawling like living fire across his skin. He rubbed at them, but the light did not fade. His heart pounded. The alien giant sat across from him, silent, as always. Its glowing blue eyes never blinked, never softened. "Stop this," Daniel whispered. "Whatever you're doing, stop it." The giant did not move. Then, slowly, it rose to its feet. Daniel's body tensed. The alien stepped closer, each footfall shaking the cave floor. When it reached him, it knelt, towering even as it crouched. The huge hand reached out again. "No!" Daniel shouted, pressing against the stone wall. But there was no escape. The alien's hand touched the glowing marks on his arm, and the world broke open. Visions in the dark Daniel's breath caught. His mind was no longer his own. Images crashed into him, burning and sharp. He saw skies filled with fire. He saw oceans boiling, cities torn apart by storms. He saw the alien giant, standing with others of its kind, watching their world crumble. Daniel gasped. The pain was not his, but it filled him. Loss, sorrow, anger, a whole planet dying, a whole race screaming. Then the vision shifted. He saw the alien giant as a child, much smaller, climbing stone towers with laughter in its voice. He saw a family, faces, like the giant's but softer, gentler. Then flames swallowed them all. Daniel tore his arm away, falling against the wall. Sweat ran down his face. His chest heaved. "That was you," he whispered. "Your life, your memories." The alien giant stared down at him, silent still. Daniel's voice cracked. "Why show me this? Why force it into my head?" No answer came, but the glowing marks on his skin pulsed, matching the rhythm of the giant's breathing. Daniel froze. He felt it now. Not just visions, but something deeper. A thread between them. A link. He felt the alien's heartbeat in his own chest. He felt the ache of its wounds, the pull of its hunger, and beneath all of it, a heavy loneliness. The meaning of the marks. Daniel dragged himself back to the center of the cave. His leg trembled, but he forced himself to stand. "This is a trick," he said, trying to sound strong. "You're making me part of you." The alien tilted its head. Then for the first time, it pressed its own palm to its chest. The glowing marks on Daniel's arm flared. He staggered, clutching his chest. He could feel it, the alien's strength rushing through him, then fading. Their lives were touching. "No," Daniel muttered, shaking his head. I don't want this. The alien lowered its hand, but the bond remained. Daniel could still feel the faint pull inside him, like a string tied to his soul. The escape attempt that night. Daniel made a choice. He waited until the alien slept, or at least until it sat so still he thought it might be sleeping. Quietly, he crawled toward the cave entrance. His leg was weak, but desperation gave him strength. The air outside was cold. Stars glimmered in the black sky. Freedom was so close. Then the bond pulled. He froze. His chest tightened. Pain ripped through him, pain that was not his own. He saw flashes in his mind, the alien giant's eyes snapping open, its hand pressed against the floor, its chest bleeding from an old wound. Daniel fell to his knees, clutching his stomach. The bond dragged him back, forcing him to share the giant's suffering. No, he groaned. I can't. Moments later, heavy steps shook the ground. The alien appeared, blocking the exit again. Its eyes glowed brighter than ever. Daniel's voice cracked. Let me go. The alien raised its hand again. The marks on Daniel's arm flared. The pain vanished, but the bond grew stronger. Daniel collapsed, breathless. He understood now. Escape was impossible. The silent choice hours later, Daniel sat by the fire the alien had built. His hands trembled as he stared at the marks. Why me? He asked softly. You could have let me die. You could have chosen anyone. Why me? The giant did not answer with words. Instead, it reached into a pouch at its side and pulled out a shard of stone. The shard was carved with the same glowing symbols that now burned on Daniel's skin. The alien pressed the shard into his hand. Daniel felt warmth surge through him. For a heartbeat, he felt not only his own mind, but the giant's. He felt its fear, its exhaustion, its strange, fragile hope. He realized the truth. This was not just a bond of power. It was survival, for both of them. If one died, the other would follow. The unseen future that night, Daniel could not sleep. His body burned with the alien marks, his mind still echoing with visions. He stared at the giant, who sat like a shadow near the cave wall. They were no longer enemies, but they were not friends either. They were something far more dangerous. Daniel whispered into the silence. What have you done to me? The giant's glowing eyes shifted toward him. For a moment, Daniel thought it might finally speak, but it did not. It only watched. And Daniel Hale realized with a cold shiver that his life was no longer his own. The days inside the cave blurred together. Daniel's wounds were healing fast, too fast, because of the glowing marks on his skin. He no longer questioned it. He already knew. He was bound to the alien giant. Their lives, their strength, even their pain were connected. But what he didn't know was how much longer he could endure the silence. The giant never spoke, never explained. It only watched him, guided him with gestures, and hunted food for them, both. Sometimes Daniel caught himself wondering if he should thank it or curse it. One cold morning, Daniel sat near the cave's mouth staring at the ruined land outside. The war was still raging somewhere beyond the hills. Distant flashes of light cut across the horizon. He clenched his fists. He wanted to go home. He wanted his people, and that was when he heard them. Human voices. At first, it was faint, a crackle, a muffled shout, then clearer. Voices he knew. Human voices. Daniel's heart jumped. He stumbled to his feet and limped out of the cave. Down in the valley, through the smoke, he saw them. A squad of human soldiers moving cautiously across the rocks. His squad. His people. Hey! Daniel shouted. His voice broke. He waved his arms. Up here! The soldiers froze, then looked up. Their helmets turned toward him. One of them shouted back, Hale? Daniel Hale? You're alive? Daniel laughed, tears in his eyes. Yes, I'm here. Behind him, heavy steps echoed. The alien giant appeared at the cave entrance, its massive frame casting a long shadow. The soldiers raised their weapons instantly. "A monster to them. Step away from it, Hale," the squad leader yelled. His rifle aimed straight at the giants. Daniel's joy froze inside him. He looked back and forth. The soldiers below, the alien behind him. The bond inside him pulled tight, his chest burning with the giant's fear. "It's not what you think," Daniel shouted. "It saved me." The soldiers did not lower their guns. "That thing killed hundreds of us. Step away." The giant stood still, not raising its weapon, but the blue glow in its eyes brightened. Daniel felt its tension through the bond, the fear, the anger. He clutched his head. "No. Don't do this." Between two worlds, one soldier climbed the slope, rifle steady. "We're here for you, Hale. But if that monster makes one move, we'll burn it down." Daniel staggered backward. The bond screamed inside him, images, emotions not his own. The giant was ready to fight. It knew what humans thought of it. It had seen this before. And Daniel knew. If they fired, it would kill them all. He raised his arms. "Wait. Listen to me. It's not our enemy." "Are you insane?" The squad leader shouted. "You're defending it? You've been gone too long, Hale. It's twisted your head." The soldier closer now snarled. "Step away, last warning." Daniel felt sweat drip down his face. His whole body shook. The alien's heartbeat thundered inside him, as loud as his own. "No," Daniel whispered. "I can't." The breaking point. The soldier aimed at the giant's head. Daniel's body moved before his mind. He threw himself between them, arms wide. "Don't shoot," he screamed. For a second silence, then disbelief in their eyes. "You're protecting it?" the leader barked. Daniel's chest heaved. "Yes, it saved my life. I'm bonded to it. If you kill it, you kill me." The squad froze. The words hung heavy in the smoke. "Bonded?" one whispered. "That's impossible." Daniel shook his head. "Look at my skin." He pulled back his sleeve. The glowing alien marks blazed in the dim light. "Do you see? It's inside me now. We're linked." The soldiers stepped back, muttering. Horror spread across their faces. The squad leader's voice hardened. "Then you're no longer one of us. You're tainted, a traitor." The words cut deeper than any wound. "Hunted." The soldiers pulled back, still keeping their weapons trained on the giant. The leader spat into the dirt. "Command will hear of this. Both of you are enemies now." And then they were gone, disappearing into the smoke. Daniel collapsed to his knees, shaking. His throat was dry, his body cold. He stared at the ground, his thoughts spinning. He was no longer a soldier of Earth. He was no longer trusted by his people. Because of the bond, he was something else. Something hated. Behind him, the alien giant stepped closer. Its shadow covered him once again. For the first time, Daniel looked up at it without fear. Instead, he felt something darker, bitterness, anger, and a strange acceptance. They were the same now, both outcasts, both hunted. The last look back. That night, Daniel sat at the cave's entrance, watching the horizon. His squad's voices still echoed in his mind. The way they looked at him, like he wasn't human anymore. He clenched his fists. "They'll come for us," he said softly. "Humans, aliens, everyone." The giant stood beside him, its massive frame silent against the stars. It gave no answer, but Daniel felt the bond pulse inside him. A shared thought, a wordless truth. Yes, they will come, and when they do, neither side will show mercy. Daniel turned his eyes back to the night sky, his heart heavy. He had chosen, and now both worlds would call him enemy. The cave was no longer safe. Daniel knew it. After the encounter with his squad, word would spread. Both sides would be hunting them now. Human soldiers and alien warriors. The alien giant seemed to know this too. One morning, without a sound, it gestured for Daniel to follow. They moved through the ruined hills, past blackened trees and broken metal from old battles. Daniel limped, but the giant slowed its pace, letting him keep up. He wanted to ask, "Where are we going?" But he knew the giant would never answer. Its silence was heavier than words. After hours of climbing, they reached a canyon. At the end was a stone wall taller than any building Daniel had seen. And across that wall were carvings, thousands of glowing symbols burning with soft blue light. Daniel froze. His marks, the ones burned into his skin, were the same as these. The wall of memory. The giant stepped forward, placing its massive hand against the wall. At once, the carving shimmered, brighter than before. The air vibrated, and Daniel felt the bond pull at him. "No," Daniel whispered, shaking his head. "Not again." But the bond was stronger now. His vision blurred. Suddenly, the world vanished. He was standing in a memory, a planet under two suns. Great stone cities rising into the clouds, the Thalkor, the alien giants, walking proudly among them. Their laughter filled the air, their families gathered in peace. Then, fire, ships in the sky, weapons from beyond the stars tearing everything apart. Oceans turned black, towers crumbled. Daniel clutched his head, gasping. He felt the alien's pain as if it were his own. The screams of its people, the helplessness of watching everything die. And then, he saw humans, not invaders, not saviors. Something worse, traitors, politicians, weapons dealers. They had promised the Thalkor safety, promised alliance. But they lied. They sold weapons to both sides of a civil war, watching the giants destroy themselves. Daniel staggered back from the wall. His chest burned. No, this can't be true. But the bond told him it was. The aliens passed. The giant turned toward him. For the first time, Daniel understood its silence. Words were too small for the weight of such pain. "You lost everything," Daniel whispered. "Your family. Your home. Because of us." The alien did not nod, did not shake its head. It only stood there, its glowing eyes filled with endless sorrow. Daniel felt the bond pulse inside him. Images of the giant's family came again. A mate with gentle eyes. Children running across stone fields. All gone. Burned by war humans had fueled. His throat tightened. He pressed his hand to the marks on his arm. "Is that why you bonded me? To make me see? To make me carry your pain too?" The alien remained silent, but Daniel felt the truth inside. Yes. The council's judgment. That night, they camped near the canyon. Daniel sat by the fire, staring into the flames. His mind spun with the truth. Humans were not innocent. The war was not as simple as us versus them. His people had built their empire on lies. But as he thought, the bond shifted again. His chest grew heavy, though he felt no wound of his own. He saw flashes, a chamber of stone filled with alien giants, a council, their eyes blazing with anger. He saw himself and the giant standing before them. He felt their voices, deep, booming, full of disgust, unnatural, unclean. Destroy the bond. Daniel gasped, pulling away from the vision. He looked at the giant across the fire. "Your people. They hate this, don't they? They'll kill us both." The giant sat in silence, its massive shoulders heavy with the truth. A dangerous revelation. The next day, Daniel could no longer hold back. He walked beside the giant, anger boiling in his chest. "My people lied to yours," he said. "They destroyed your world. They used you. But if your council knows I'm bonded to you, if my army knows, then neither side will accept us. Both will want us dead." The alien's eyes flickered in the morning light. For the first time, Daniel thought he saw a question there. A silent one. "Then what will you do?" Daniel's fists clenched. "I don't know," he said, "but I can't go back to them. Not after what I've seen. Not after what I've felt." The giant stopped walking. It turned toward him, and in that moment, Daniel felt something new through the bond. Not just sorrow, not just pain. Hope. The first step. They stood together before the glowing wall of memory. Daniel touched the carvings with his own hand, and the marks on his arm blazed brighter than ever. The bond hummed like fire in his veins. For a moment, he saw the future, human and alien standing side by side, armies falling back, battles ending, a fragile peace beginning. Then the vision broke, leaving him breathless. Daniel looked up at the giant, his voice shaking. "They'll hunt us. Your people. My people. Everyone." The giant lowered its head, silent as always. But the bond whispered the truth inside him. "Yes, but we are no longer alone." Daniel drew in a slow breath. His fear had not left him. But beneath it, something new grew. Courage. He looked at the alien giant beside him, the enemy who was no longer an enemy. The bond pulsed in his veins like a heartbeat. "Then let them come," Daniel said. The bond burned stronger with each passing day. Daniel no longer doubted it. His life and the alien giants were one. Every breath, every ache, every flash of memory tied them together. But bonds did not bring safety. They brought hunters. The trap pit began at dawn. The canyon echoed with footsteps, too many. Daniel woke to the sound of voices, harsh and human. He crawled to the edge of a ridge and froze. Below, dozens of soldiers marched with weapons drawn. His people, his uniform, his flag. And on the opposite side of the canyon, more figures moved through the mist. Towering shadows, spears glinting, alien giants, the Thalkor. Two armies, human and alien, converging on the same point. Daniel's chest tightened. The bond flared hot. The giant beside him stiffened, gripping its spear. It knew too. They were the target. "They found us," Daniel whispered. Surrounded by midday, they were caught. Human soldiers formed lines at one end of the canyon. Alien giants blocked the other, trapped between two enemies. Daniel's old squad leader stepped forward. His voice carried across the stone. "Hale, you chose the wrong side. That thing beside you isn't your friend, it's your curse. Come now, and maybe, we'll spare you." Daniel's jaw clenched. The bond throbbed, feeding him the alien's fear and fury. His voice shook, but he shouted back, "I'm not leaving it. We are bound. If you kill it, you kill me." The soldiers muttered. Some lowered their weapons, uncertain. But the leader barked, "Then you die together." On the other side, the alien council appeared, giants draped in heavy armor, their glowing eyes blazing with disgust. One raised a staff. Its voice boomed like thunder. "The bond is forbidden. The human must be destroyed. The traitor must be erased." Daniel's heart pounded. Two armies, no escape. The first strike. The soldiers raised their rifles. The giants leveled their spears. And in the center, Daniel stood with the alien giant at his side. "Together," Daniel whispered, and the bond flared bright. The first shot cracked the air. The first spear shattered the ground, and the battle began. Fighting as one, Daniel moved before he thought. The bond guided him. When the giant swung its spear, Daniel's muscles tensed with the same rhythm. When Daniel ducked, the giant's shield shifted to cover him. Bullets screamed past. Spears struck stone. Explosions shook the canyon walls. Daniel grabbed a fallen rifle and fired at human drones buzzing above. The recoil nearly threw him down, but the giant steadied him with one massive hand. Together they crushed machines, broke lines, and tore through the chaos. Yet every strike cost them. Every wound on the giant seared through Daniel's skin. Blood dripped from both of them, red and blue mingling in the dirt. Still, they did not fall. Breaking point hours felt like minutes. The canyon floor was littered with broken machines, fallen soldiers, shattered spears. But the armies pressed closer, tightening the noose. Daniel gasped for air, his vision blurred. His squad leader stepped forward, rifle steady. "Look at you, Hale. Bleeding for a monster. You could have been saved. But now you're just another enemy." The alien council raised their voices, chanting in deep unison. "Destroy the bond. Destroy the abomination." Daniel's heart raced. His chest burned with fire. He felt the giant stagger, its strength faltering. If it fell, he would fall too. He clenched his teeth. No, we don't end here. The leap of faith. The squad leader pulled the trigger, but the bullet never struck. The alien giant moved, shield raised, body covering Daniel. The impact rang like thunder. The bond screamed inside Daniel's head. Pain, sharp and endless. He fell to his knees. Don't leave me. The giant dropped to one knee as well, towering even in its weakness. Its eyes glowed bright, locking on his. For the first time, Daniel felt not just fear or sorrow through the bond, but trust, a choice. The bond surged, pulling their strength together. Daniel stood, fire in his veins, the giant rising beside him. Their voices, human and alien, echoed as one. Then we fight. The storm what followed was chaos. Daniel fired with unnatural accuracy, guided by alien instinct. The giant moved with deadly precision, every strike aligned with Daniel's will. Soldiers fell. Giants recoiled. Neither side had expected this. Human and alien moving as one creature, one will. But victory was impossible. Too many enemies. Too much hatred. At last, both sides hesitated, staring at the bonded pair. Not out of mercy, out of fear. Daniel stood, chest heaving, blood soaking his arm. The giant leaned on its spear, glowing eyes dim but unbroken. For a moment the canyon was silent, captured, then chains struck. From above, weighted nets of alien steel dropped, binding them both. The bond pulsed in agony as Daniel fell to the ground, the giant roaring beside him. The soldiers and council closed in together, their hatred united by fear. The squad leader sneered. End it. Tear them apart. The alien council's leader raised its staff. The bond dies tonight. Daniel's chest burned. He struggled against the chains, the giant thrashing beside him. The bond hummed, weak, but still alive. He looked up at the dark sky, heart racing. This was it, their last chance, together, or nothing. Chains bound them both. Daniel lay on the cold ground, the weight of alien steel crushing his chest. Beside him, the alien giant struggled, but every movement only pulled the chains tighter. The bond between them throbbed with pain, every spark of agony passing from one to the other. Above, the human squad raised rifles. On the other side, the alien council stood tall, their staffs glowing with power. Both armies had stopped fighting each other. For once, they were united in destroying Daniel and the giant. The council leader raised its staff high. Its voice thundered, "This bond is a crime, it ends now." The human squad leader shouted, "Do it, kill the monster. Kill them both." Daniel's breath came sharp and ragged. He felt the giant's pulse slowing through the bond, each beat weaker than the last. Its life was slipping away, and with it, his own. He whispered, "No, not like this." Breaking point. The giant's head turned, eyes glowing faintly. Through the bond, Daniel felt one last surge of memory. Laughter of alien children, a family long lost, a hope never fulfilled. Daniel's throat tightened. He knew what it meant. The giant was ready to let go, to die if it spared him. But Daniel shook his head. "Don't you dare. We end this together." The bond flared, hot and sharp. His body burned with pain that wasn't his, but he refused to give in. The refusal. The squad leader stepped closer, rifle aimed. "Last chance, Hale. Renounce it. Step away and maybe you'll live." Daniel's laugh was bitter. "Step away? You don't understand. I can't. We are one now. You kill it. You kill me." The soldiers muttered nervously. Even the council shifted uneasily. Daniel forced himself to stand, chains biting into his skin. His voice was raw, but strong. "You're afraid of us, both of you, humans and Thalcor. You can't imagine enemies becoming more than enemies, but we already have." The squad leader snarled, "You've lost your mind." Daniel met his eyes. "No, for the first time I've found it." The last surge, the council leader slammed its staff down. Light surged, energy crackling across the chains. Daniel screamed as the bond flared in agony. The giant roared, its body convulsing, but pain gave way to something else. The bond changed. It wasn't just sharing wounds anymore. It was merging. Strength. Daniel felt power flood into him. Alien strength, alien endurance. At the same time, the giant's thoughts brushed his own. Not words, but clear. Fight, together. Daniel clenched his fists. Yes, he whispered, together. With a cry, he pulled at the chains. Metal screamed. The giant heaved with him, their strength multiplied. The bond blazed like fire. The chains snapped. The stand gasps filled the canyon. Soldiers raised rifles. Council members raised staffs. Daniel and the giant stood side by side, free again. Blood soaked them both, but they were unbroken. The squad leader shouted, "Fire!" But before a trigger was pulled, Daniel raised his voice. "Look at us. You can't kill one without killing the other. That's the truth. That's the bond. And if one human and one Thalcor can share life, then so can our worlds." His voice echoed across the canyon walls. The soldiers hesitated. The giants froze. For a heartbeat, no one moved. The choice. The squad leader's hands shook on his rifle. He aimed at Daniel's chest. "I don't care, you'll die now." The council leader raised its staff again, voice shaking with fury. "Abomination! The bond must end!" Both sides prepared to strike. Daniel felt the giant's hand rest on his shoulder. Through the bond came a single thought, calm and heavy. This is the moment. Choose. Daniel looked at both armies, his people, the aliens' people, both blinded by hate, by lies. He lifted his voice one last time. "If killing us is the only way you understand, then kill us. But know this, our blood will bind your hands forever, and you will never wash it away." He gripped the giant's hand. The bond flared brighter than any weapon, their bodies glowing with shared light. The silence. The armies froze. Rifles lowered. Staffs trembled. No one fired. No one moved. The silence grew heavier than any battle cry. Finally, one soldier stepped back. Then another. A giant lowered its spear. Then another. The squad leader's rifle wavered, then dropped. The council leader's staff dimmed, the glow fading. Daniel and the giant still stood, glowing faintly in the dark, alive, not because the armies had shown mercy, but because they had seen something they could not deny. The first step night fell on the canyon. The armies retreated, one side to the east, the other to the west, no peace declared, no treaty signed. But they had not killed Daniel or the giant. That was enough. Daniel sat beside the alien, leaning against its massive shoulder. His voice was soft, almost broken. "We're still alive." The giant's glowing eyes turned to him. For the first time, its mouth opened. Its voice was deep, rough, strange in human ears, but the word was clear. Together. Daniel smiled through the blood and exhaustion. "Yeah, together." The bond pulsed once more, steady and unshaken. And though the war was not over, Daniel knew the first step had been taken. The galaxy would never be the same.